A very warm welcome to you all from PR Presents. I'm Patrick Lay. Today I'm joined by a good friend of mine over in Dubai who, like myself, has just finished her degree at BCU School of Media. I'll be discovering more about her time in England's second city and what is it that inspires international students to graduate overseas. Priyanka Rajput, good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Patrick. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Can't believe it's all over. Time's certainly flies, doesn't it?
Yes.
Well, we'll start off then, Priyanka. Back in September, you moved to the UK for the final year of your media degree at Birmingham City University. How does this program work for international students?
The way it worked for me is I did not join BCU right from the first year. I moved there only in my final year. So I did my first 2 years of course in India, back in Bangalore. And while I was in Bangalore, I was doing a triple major. So essentially, I was studying 3 subjects, which is media, psychology, and English literature. And then for my final year, I decided to streamline my subject and pick one. And I had the amazing opportunity to transfer my credits to BCU and move there for my final year. So the way it worked is I was in India until July. And then after going through the regular application process, much like everyone else, I had to submit my personal statement, my grades, what I hope to achieve through the course, etc., and then wait for my application results. And then I got them back in July and August beginning. And then after my visa application, I flew down the first or second week of September.
Well, what made you choose the UK and more specifically Birmingham as the place to study and live for your final year?
So, as I said, for the exchange program, I had 2 options actually. I had Liverpool as the other place. So
Right.
there's a university called the Liverpool Hope University, and
I've heard of that, yes.
the other option was Birmingham, and I was obviously going to choose Birmingham because it was really good and reputed for the media course that I wanted to study. I'd obviously done my research, and I found out that they had an extensive skills labs and resources such as editing suites and just the whole TV studios and everything was just because I didn't have access to those things while I was studying in India. We didn't have that sort of gear, the equipment. So it was really fascinating for me to sort of streamline my field and then move to Birmingham to study with complete hands-on experience. So that was one of the major factors. The other one was I was just a lot more comfortable being in Birmingham because it's a major, it's one of the biggest cities in the UK.
Yeah, second city, yeah, after London.
Yes. So I was much more comfortable being there than, say, in Liverpool, where I didn't really know much about it.
As someone then who was, well, raised in Dubai and lived in India for a long period of time as well, what perception did you have of life in the UK?
So I'll be really honest with you. When I finished school in 2016, I'd actually had my slight experience of the UK. I moved to UK to study at the Lancaster University.
Oh, right. Yes, I know.
So yeah, way up north. And that was the first time I was leaving Dubai and, moving out of my home and my comfort zone to live alone. And then I moved out and I was just starting out university and it was really, really daunting. It was a very stressful experience for me at that point of time. But, and then I realized that it wasn't just the environment and the weather that I wasn't enjoying. I was actually not really enjoying my course either. So
Which course were you doing then?
I was studying film and media and culture studies, which was essentially a film studies course along with political science. So it was completely different from what I eventually went on to do later on. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy my time there. It was a wonderful place, Lancaster. The people were lovely. Students on campus were really helpful and friendly. My professors were really good as well. It was just, I felt like I started out too young, too soon. And I didn't give myself time after school to really think about what I wanted to do. So yeah, after that experience in the UK, I realized that I had to go back home and reevaluate my plans of what I want to study, what I want to do. So I had a slight understanding of what it is like to live in the UK, uh, the way people work, the culture here, because I'd moved there in 2016. So yeah, I was a little bit familiar with the culture, the people, and everything that goes around. Uh, well, I think that when I moved back there in 2019, the thing that really worked for me was um, I think I had matured in terms of I was able to live by myself. I was able to enjoy. The other thing is, I really enjoyed my course at BCU, and the professors, they were really, really nice and supportive at BCU.
Yeah, they are. Very much so.
So, as much as I was scared that, I would go through that same experience I'd had before because of the weather and everything else, surprisingly, I didn't. I fitted in very easily. I made friends really easily as well. And
Yes, most certainly.
yeah, so I think one of the major difference was I was finally able to live by myself alone and also enjoy that experience instead of constantly being upset over those little things.
No, it's good. I mean, it's impossible, isn't it, to cram everything into just 8 months when you go anywhere. But did you manage to tick a lot of places off your bucket list this time around in the UK?
Um, so okay, I'll be really honest. I was actually going to, so the time after university, which is like our course ended in May, and then
Yes, well, right now, yeah. So
yeah, right now. So I wanted to take time off from May end until August, which is when I have my visa till, and take that time. And I had my list of places to go to in England made. And I was like, all right, I'm going to finish university, and then I'm just going to take those 3 months to travel around the UK, Wales, and Scotland. And unfortunately, that of course did not happen. That was cut short, and
very sad.
it was. And I always say this to my friends as well. It's like I've always wanted to experience British summer, and somehow the last time I was there, I left just before summer. This time as well, I barely I was going to come back for summer, and then just then the Corona crisis happened. So yeah, it's like I'm not meant to experience the British summer. I'm just meant to experience the British winter. No, whilst I was in Birmingham, I traveled to like the spaces that were closer by. So I went to like London for a day's trip. I went to Warwick for a day trip. I was in Edinburgh for about 4 days or a week.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so I think this was right before Christmas, and it was amazing because that was a very unexpected trip. The only reason I took it because my friend was she was only there for a semester in Birmingham, and then she was like, she really wanted to see some places outside of outside of Birmingham as well.
Yes, yes. And Edinburgh is a place to go. So
beautiful place. So yeah, we made like a spontaneous trip, and there we were after a 10-hour bus journey, just exploring Edinburgh for about 4 days, and it was beautiful. That was a really, really nice experience. We planned our own trip. We stayed in a hostel, and we walked through the city almost like for all the 4 days that we were there. So yeah, that was really nice.
Everything, as we know, has gone on to a massive, great pause, hasn't it, throughout the whole world? And, obviously we still wait and wonder when it's all going to truly finish. But as far as your visa's concerned then, because you said that runs until, I think it was August time, have they actually sort of like put a pause on that, whereby, let's say, for example, the COVID lockdown finishes in September, maybe, I mean, let's hope it is before, but then you could then resume it for another couple of months. Does it work that way?
So interesting that you asked this question, because a couple of days back on the international students group, we had a petition that came up which said if you sign the petition, they will consider sort of debating on this motion in the parliament, sorry. But I'm not sure. I, of course, signed for it. So the way the petitions was worded was that since our graduation takes place in July, and now it's most likely not going to happen. I mean, not very sure. Physical one, of course, yeah. And then one of the reasons why we have that extra few months of visa is so that we can experience the summer graduation. But of course, with that not happening, we really strongly feel that our visas should be extended at least until uh, the graduation period. But I'm not sure if that's something that's happening at the moment.
Well, on to a professional note then. You were someone I got to know well in my final year, and it was always very impressive. I felt how dedicated you were. You know, you always put your hand up to different things, different uni events, work experience, that kind of thing. What would you say was the most important thing you've taken away from your time, obviously, at BCU for your career?
One of the things I was really impressed by, and things that really developed personally as well, is before I came to BCU, I was very reserved and shy, and I did not really put my hands up to everything. So, in the sense that I was aware of these were my skills, and I only want to work on these. Coming to BCU allowed me to meet people from different areas of the media that I did not know about before. And I realized that I could try it all out and develop on each of these skills myself, but I only had to I just had to get and try it out first. So it sort of allowed me to be more open to trying new things. And being open to trying new things professionally means that, you're there and experiencing more things out of your comfort zone, which again is, skill development and personal development in itself. And then, of course, I was no longer very reserved in terms of sticking to one particular role or responsibility. I learned about, handling the camera, working as the production manager, etc., while working with, of course, you and the others on the graffiti shoot. So all of these skills that I, didn't think I was capable of uh, having for myself, I learned that, if I just read up a little, went to the supervisors and teachers, and if I just interacted with my friends, I could possibly learn them and, benefit from them.
Being an international student is expensive, but an exciting way, like we were saying about throwing yourself into the deep end. What advice would you give to any students or other international people looking to follow in your footsteps?
I'd say go for it 110%. Take take that opportunity, grab it with both your hands, and take that flight if you can afford it. Of course, it's easier said. First, I was really fortunate. My parents were able to fund my tuition as well as my accommodation, and they were very supportive of my move. Not a lot of parents are. Not a lot of parents are comfortable with it as well. But if you keep the financial side aside, if you're able to afford it financially, if you're only worried about things like safety, security, cultural fitting in, I'd say Birmingham is an extremely amazing place to be, because in the short time I was there, I felt like the student community was so accepting. The people, local people as well, were so accepting and so sweet. I never felt out of place or like I did not belong there.
That's good. That is important.
Definitely. It's a huge part of, moving to another place and feeling like you belong there is really important. Another thing is the university has really, really amazing resources and, student societies where if you just go out there and join them, you're going to be enveloped and, you're going to feel the love from everywhere. The International Week is absolutely amazing. I met some friends there, and they were my first friends at BCU. We've we've all been studying different things, but they've remained in touch, and they've been my first friends since then until now, and we've stayed pretty close. So yeah, if you can put aside if you don't have any financial worries, as I said, and you can afford to send your child, or if you can afford to send yourself to university abroad, I think it's absolutely amazing. In a way, it puts you in a place where you get to meet people from different cultures, different backgrounds, and you get to understand their stories, their perspectives, why certain things are the way they are in their society. and it gives you a very global sort of perspective on even things that you're studying. So it's not limited to one viewpoint, which really opens up your thinking as well. So I think that's one of the things that people should really look forward to, and if they get a chance, they should definitely take a semester abroad. It changes you.
I mean, everyone at BCU really was friendly, and obviously, particularly as well, I see with the international students, I was very impressed with how everyone you spoke to, even if people were sort of perhaps out of their comfort zone, they still embraced everything, and they still wanted to join in with every thing that was going on, and like I said to you before, like putting your hand up to things, it was so impressive. So I thought, well, if international students have been like that towards like myself and other students, then they must be excellent to know if you're an international student coming into that, and perhaps maybe a bit more, I don't know, maybe shy or perhaps sort of curious about sort of taking part in things. I thought it must be absolutely wonderful to have that support structure in place for fellow international students.
Oh, thank you so much. That was actually really wonderful to have that support from people within the university as well, because it's really important that your professors as well, they're so supportive, even if you go to them with the smallest of ideas. And you think they're so silly, but they respond to you with so much respect and so much sort of, they value your idea so much that you start to feel important about the things you're even thinking, which is another thing I was really impressed by at BCU and helped build my personal confidence as well. So, yeah.
Do you have then that sense of, I suppose, unfinished business, if you like, to come back here one day? I mean, you have said about, obviously, third time lucky with coming here in the summer, but even from a work point of view, or even, say, a pleasure point of view, is there sort of like a role you feel, oh, actually, if I'd have stayed another couple of months, I could have applied for that role? Or not asking you to name organisations necessarily, but maybe a type of area in the media you feel you perhaps would have wanted to get more experience in before, obviously, returning back to the UAE?
Yes, definitely. So one of the things in about the UAE is that the media industry here is very focused on digital work mostly. So you see a lot of people doing digital magazines, digital ad campaigns, etc. But a lot of the traditional forms, such as television, films, etc., are still something that's developing in this region. So one of the things that I really wanted to experience in the UK is working with production houses that have been there and they're well established for a very long time, to work under them for experiencing what a production house culture is like, the work that goes around there. And I really wanted to take out these few months that I had after university as well to sort of experience that culture. Unfortunately, that didn't obviously work out. One of my other options was, of course, go back to India, because India's got a big media industry as well, just like in the UK, and experience the production industry there. But like I said, it would have been wonderful if I would have gotten the experience in the UK, because it's just, there's so many amazing TV shows, films, documentaries that get, and you just want to learn as much as you can while you've got the time and the opportunity.
Well, finally then, Priyanka, now you're back in Dubai after finishing a degree. A bit of a $64,000 question, but what next for you in the world of media?
So initially, in a pre-COVID world, I would have just gone out there, applied for jobs, traveled with whatever little pocket money I made, and made the most of my work and travel experience. In a post-COVID world, I sort of want to just slow down a bit. I've decided to take a month after university, which is June until July, to streamline my job searches in Dubai, to work on my application to jobs for my jobs that I'm applying to, and also to sort of just build on extra skills through LinkedIn Learning, through various courses online. Apart from that, I just want to spend a bit of time with family as well and relax.
Of course, yeah. I haven't been away for 8 months.
Yes. And apart from that, one of the things I realized is that I don't really want to stick to working under organizations for a really long time. I do want to set up something of my own, like a digital media agency.
Okay. There's
Something
no reason why you can't.
Yes. So I'm taking this time off to sort of learn the business side of media, which has not been the focus in these last couple of years. In the last couple of years, I've mostly learned skills of working in the media industry. I'm trying to focus on stuff like the business management aspects and yeah, learning more about how businesses in the UAE are set up, how things work here, the licenses, all of those tiny details, trying to learn those, getting in touch with freelancers, etc., who've been doing this for a while, getting knowledge from them. So for now, for the next few months at least, that's what my focus is. And eventually, hopefully, I'll start working by August, hopefully.
Well, Priyanka, it's been fantastic catching up again with you, and good to hear that you're keeping well with all what's going on with COVID lockdown. And well, only a few more weeks hopefully now, and we'll find out what our grades were from BCU School of Media. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, and hope you're all keeping well out there, and do tune in again soon to PR Presents.